Greetings and welcome to another exciting edition of Poet to Poet. I'm Robert Dunn and I'm still host, at least for the moment. We have a very unusual show. You'll notice that normally we have two guests. Today we have three. They are a trio. At least today they're a trio. We're welcoming the mainstays of a magazine from New Jersey called The Rift. Let's see if we can hold up that cover. And The Rift has done some very interesting and occasionally peculiar work. We have, for example, Paul Nash, the senior editor. We have Alda F. Xavier, who is the founder. And we have Roy Luciana, who comes in every once in a while. Something like that.
Yes.
They do.
Artistic and literary advisor.
Thank you. Yeah. It's pretty much what I said.
Sort of a drift in the rift.
A drift?
Yeah, and a drift in the rift.
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be one of those shows. All right. Might as well get to it then. A little background information will be scattered throughout the show, starting with Alda. She's the founder, the publisher, the editor-in-chief of the Rift Arts Forum publication. Let's see. Hosts a number of readings, such as the Eros Cafe in Rutherford, New Jersey. Just down the road from the Meadowlands, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
And a better deal, too, I might mention. Let's see. Doing a book discussion group, Voices of Science Fiction, held at the Barnes & Noble in Clifton.
That's right.
New Jersey. Speaks and writes in several languages, Portuguese, Spanish, French, and English, and does translations.
That's right.
Among other things. Who have you translated?
I've done some translation work on Octavio Paz. He's a Mexican poet. Arthur Rimbaud. He's a French symbolist poet. And one of my favorites, Portuguese poet, João de Deus.
Reminds me of another Dorothy Parker line. I'm always chasing Rimbauds.
Different kind of rainbow, but...
Well, when she was drinking, I don't think it mattered very much. In any event, let's see. You've also done a number of interesting things, such as scuba diving.
Sure have.
Have you ever written a poem underwater?
No, not yet. It's on my agenda.
Well, there's a first time for everything. There is geology that you're interested in.
That's what I went to college for. Earth Sciences.
And do you have any peculiar geology stories?
Peculiar geology stories. Don't drink your water. Actually, water is a mineral, and there's lots of contaminants in water that you may not know about. So be careful with the water you're drinking.
Take this away. Give me gin. All right. Next time I'll take that very seriously. Most of the geology I deal with is between people's ears. I'm afraid it's not quite the same thing. All right. Since we've introduced Alda, let's go into the first piece, and then we'll introduce the rest of the gang.
Very good. I'd like to do a piece entitled Elixir of Life, and I'm going to ask Roy Luciano to help me on his flute. And
that elixir of life, that's not water, is it?
Oh, yes, it is.
You just trashed water.
Water is and can be many things.
All right, this is distilled water. Okay.
Okay, we're going to stand up for this.
The water cleansed. The water held the Lord. It was the water of dreams. It was in sight. Water that seduced. Water that was sweet. It soothed. This water filled the void. It was wild with rapture. The water placid with peace and thought. Now sends the tides and brings the storms. The water is salty and the water is poison. water that envelops and water that drowns. It kills. This water is stagnant with decay, but new water will wash it away. New water will erase the mark. The water cleansed. The water held the Lord. It was the water of dreams. It was in sight. Water that seduced. Water that was sweet. It soothed. This water filled the void. It was wild with rapture. The water, placid with peace and thought, now sends the tides and brings the storms. The water is salty and the water is poison. Water that envelops and water that drowns. It kills. This water is stagnant with decay, but new water will wash it away. New water will erase the mark.
You had new water washing old water.
That's right.
If I remember that, that's an interesting concept. Normally, I send my water out to be dry cleaned. What did the fish have to say about it?
They don't mind. That's why they're silver.
You should say every fish has a silver lining.
Yes, even her goldfish is silver. All right.
Not the silverfish.
No, they're still bronze, actually, now that I think about it. I had my silverfish bronze. Well, since you brought him up, we have Roy Luciana over there in the far corner. Painter, poet, astrologer, musician, lecturer in art history, and teacher of Tai Chi Chuan
Tai Chi Chuan.
and Qigong.
Qigong.
Qigong. Well, that's close. I think that's
Yeah.
what exactly are Tai Chi Chuan and Qigong?
It's an ancient Chinese martial art, which can be used as a martial art, but we use it mostly as a health system of health, keeping your health. So slow, even movements. The purpose is to cultivate the inherent energy or qi in your body. So it kind of looks like ballet, or soft, slow, strong.
All right, well, I'm relieved that you're not beating people up as a system of health. That's although I know people who have tried that. That's let's see. You're the literary art advisor of the Rift. What does that mean? What do you actually do for them?
I sit at a table, and poetry comes in front of me, and I do this or this, or read a lot.
Okay.
Sort of give my comments on what I think, and also the artwork. The artwork comes through. I sit on my throne and make a judgment on it.
You paint and sculpt too.
And I'm a painter, yeah. I was a painter before I started. I was a painter 25, 30 years ago, actually. And I knew that I would go into music, and that my ultimate goal was poetry. But it took me a while to work everything together. So I'm still working on the three things together.
I see. And you started out by painting with a clarinet, but the paint made the keys stick.
Exactly. So I wrote a sad poem.
It's good to know. Animals are running, no doubt.
Yeah.
You're working on a 4-part autobiographical poem called Right, Middle, Left. Now, that's only 3 parts.
3 parts.
Yeah.
In 4 parts.
Okay.
Should I make something of it?
Yes, a waltz.
3 and 4 make 7.
No, a waltz.
7 is mystical.
A waltz, yeah. 3/4 time. Works out very nicely.
Yeah, it's 4 parts because I plan to divide my life into 4 seasons. And I wrote spring, and it covers until I'm like 16 years old or 15, whatever. And I'm not sure where summer starts, so I'm going to work on the summer part. And this will be 200, 300, 400 pages, whatever, when it's done.
That's a lot of seasoning. All right, I think that brings us into the next performance piece.
Okay.
So who's going to volunteer for this?
Should I do these?
Yes.
Okay. All right, this is 2 pieces that I wrote. One is, I guess they're about relationships. First one is called Beggar. Your search for love, true love, relational love, gainful love. Like that beggar walking down 7th Avenue, his hand out, no longer any idea of how to earn money, keep money, offer services for return. No longer a clue, he just sticks out his hand. And another piece called Empty Vessel. You put your faith and stock in me, your hopes and dreams. I sit like an empty boat. You fill me with your valuables, bags and heaps of the precious stuff. I sink quietly to the bottom.
I would have thought an empty vessel would float.
Not with all the bags and heaps of precious stuff.
Yes, there is.
So too much, as they say, baggage. People bring baggage to the relationships, and
Well, I don't know if baggage brings us to the third member of this little quartet, but we're going to try anyway. His name is Paul Nash, to my immediate right. He's the senior editor of the Rift Arts Forum publication. He's you're probably the first one we've had on the show. You're a naturalist.
Yes.
As well as a writer, and you work at the American Museum of Natural History.
That's correct.
In New York City. You polished a whale?
No, but we've had interesting times with the squid there. Actually, they tried to move this giant squid with limited success recently. On the other hand...
You can't move a squid who doesn't want to be moved.
No. Anyway, I work in the Department of Entomology. And I do work with insects that have been trapped in ancient amber. And the amber that we're working with, the oldest deposit of it is from actually New Jersey, a place called Sayreville, which I've dubbed the land of no cappuccinos.
Sounds good so far.
Yes. And in that locality, we've unearthed over 2,000 specimens of insects in amber that are 92 million years old from the age of dinosaurs.
Any motorists?
Not yet, but
it occurs to me on your bio, you say you study ancient organisms trapped in amber from the age of dinosaurs, which we were just going through. And it occurs to me that if you get on the Sea Local, running under Central Park West, you will find plenty of ancient organisms trapped.
That has been my experience.
Trapped in something. I don't know if it's quite amber. You're the past president of the New York Paleontological Society.
That's right.
Where do you paleontologue?
Well, that particular organization is one that actually meets at the American Museum. They have a number. Their meetings are there once a month, but in addition to that, they run a number of field trips, and we have speakers, famous paleontologists come there and give talks on their latest findings.
Including those in Sayreville, I guess.
Yes, we have had those talks there.
What's doing in Teaneck?
Well, there are, in fact, there are some red shales that date to about 213 million years, in which you can find perhaps some dinosaur prints. So,
anything good in the Ford-M schist?
Astrocodes.
Well, it depends on whether you're taking them for granite. But,
you really rock me. But another fascinating thing, these field trips, you've done a number of exotic travels, places even more exotic than New Jersey, as I see. You've been to the Galapagos Islands, where you couldn't
Yes.
get a room.
Rooms were difficult.
Yeah.
We slept on the ship, actually.
Ecuador's Avenue of Volcanoes,
Yes,
as opposed to 6th Avenue, the Avenue of Potholes.
that's right. A little more scenic, I think.
But which is more dangerous, the volcanoes or the potholes?
The yin and the yang.
Yes,
One's up, one's down.
that's right. I think the potholes are more of a more immediate concern, perhaps.
We end up going in circles, like Columbus Circle.
Yes.
Let's see. Machu Picchu. Mm-hmm. That's on Long Island, isn't it?
Well, the Machu Picchu, of course, being the Inca stronghold that was only discovered in the 1930s, actually, by Europeans who were exploring parts of Ecuador and Peru at the time.
Mm-hmm. The Alaskan Peninsula.
Yes, that was a recent trip, last summer, in fact.
And the idyllic jungle beaches of Kauai. Yeah, right, Kauai.
Kauai, yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the Hawaiian islands, the one in which part of South Pacific was filmed.
That's the one where they don't wear any clothes, is that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, one of my original attractions for visiting it. No.
There we go. Which I think brings us to the next performance piece.
Yes. Well, the piece that I was going to begin here with is a piece entitled Parasitoid, and just briefly, it does have some resonance with the work that I do at the museum because it's about parasitoid wasps. These are animals which we have found some in amber, as well as there's some today as well. The movie Alien was based on those. They lay eggs in a host that's still alive, and the young develop in the living host and then emerge as adults, and at that time the host is killed. But up until then, they keep the host alive. It also has some...
Boy, that's gratitude for you.
Yes. I also felt that it would be an interesting way to describe the darker side of human relationships. So I put the two together, and Alda and I will read it for you.
We'll explore their darker sides. Here we go.
She slips away as silently as she came. Soon the eggs laid within hatch.
Hungry, ever so hungry, young legs scrabbling to find purchase.
Gnashing mandibles.
The greedy, bloated children.
Feasting.
Growing.
Sucking on juices.
Delicious torment.
Prolonged sweet suffering.
Ever so slowly draining the life away.
Seething.
Squirming.
Gnawing.
Clinging and spasming in an ecstasy of overindulgence.
Survival as death incarnate. Eat, my children.
Then, a throbbing metamorphosis in perfect synchronization.
To the host's final convulsive moments.
Emergence by moonlight. Adults now.
They couple madly in shadowy swarms.
And within hours, the search begins.
In an atmosphere of charged anticipation.
A strange attraction, tormentor.
To unwilling victim. A female alights ever so softly, then thrusts in a climax of savage lust, piercing her intended, spewing forth a viscous ichor, her evil spawn.
The host shudders in a convulsive prologue of things to come.
She slips away as silently as she came. Soon the eggs laid within hatch.
Hungry, ever so hungry, young legs scrabbling to find purchase.
Gnashing mandibles.
The greedy, bloated children.
Feasting.
Growing.
Sucking on juices.
Delicious torment.
Prolonged sweet suffering.
Ever so slowly draining the life away.
Seething.
Squirming.
Gnawing.
Clinging and spasming in an ecstasy of overindulgence.
Survival as death incarnate.
Eat, my children, eat!
You'll feel better. I can't tell you how many open mics I've been to that follow the exact same program that you had just described here.
Oh my.
But I must rise to the defense of one aspect of it. Viscous ichor is actually one of my favorite poets. And I really have to stick up for him on this.
Read him in the original Latin. Right.
Well, you can stick up to him, stick to him, stick
Etruscan,
with him.
actually.
Or just-
Etruscan.
Yeah.
Etruscan? Or-
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, well, they make yogurt now, but that's another story. How did you three get together?
Well, Paul and I have been friends for a while, and we both enjoyed writing and art,
Yeah.
and then we met Roy,
I was in a cafe shooting my mouth off.
and so we snagged him.
Aha. And what precipitated the founding of the Rift?
The need for a creative outlet, a nexus for all the different types of artists, pulling them all together. Not just in a publication where we publish visual art and poetry and short fiction, but also in the different types of events that we host. Gallery openings, open forum nights, where we incorporate various types of art form, whether it may be film or photography or dance or song, music, poetry, you name it.
Suddenly Roy was swigging out of that giant kidney bean again. What is, since you bring it up, that you do all this stuff, what, besides my showing up once in a while, is the strangest thing that ever happened at one of your events?
The strangest thing I'd have to say was at Mark's that you're reading, where
Thank you.
I needed something from the car. I don't remember what it was. Maybe your calendar of events or something of the sort. And I walked out to the car and I heard this African drum call. And it was the most beautiful African drum. I mean, it was just very, very compelling. And I walked all the way across the park to find an Afro-American guy, and he was playing the drums, and I said, "You must come to our poetry reading." And he didn't even know about us or our group or that we were having a reading, and of course it wasn't just poetry, but it's also music and a combination of different things. And he came, and he was a total success. We had a wonderful time, and we made a new friend, and from a very strange, unusual thing, it became a very good and a learning experience for all of us. So it was fun.
I get the feeling you might be leading up to something. I know at least one of you is packing a drum now.
Yeah, that is true.
Would that be part of the next performance piece?
Sure.
Well,
There it is.
Well, we might as well have it.
Okay.
Lend me those earphones.
This particular piece is entitled Janquar for no particular reason.
What language is that?
English.
It's sort of Janquarian.
Janquarian, yes.
Janquar.
Anyway, it's a piece that attempts to sort of describe the indescribable, perhaps, or to look at opposites and try to make some sense out of the apparent contradiction. Anyway, I'll give it a shot here, and Roy's going to accompany me on the, what type of drum is that exactly? As you can see.
Dombek.
Dombek.
It looks silver-plated. I think we covered that earlier.
Oh,
yeah.
like the fish.
Yes.
Many tiny silverfish gave their lives to
Now we're going to get the environmentalists after us. Huh?
well, the drum has a living quality because of that. You know? Not only the goat who died for the top, but the it's not a vegetarian instrument.
Okay, let's have it.
Okay.
A full-dish bomblastery of bubonic rhythm sinks, ignites, then rises again. Stench-filled mud oscillates, corpusculates. Strobes of silence mix harmony with gloom. Labyrinthine chasms of impregnable emptiness shape the spaceless spaces, space the shapeless shapes. Intolerance drinks a toast to fountains of destiny, their gurgling froth of sustenance, a fateful sea of dreams. Sweet shafts of darkness, muted hibitions, an effervescent nothingness implodes to contain them. Portals of sin, with stoical resonance, ingest the sky, and in turn are ingested.
Perhaps I should get on the house drums while we're at it. Oh, that has no skin. All right. Well, I look foolish doing that. Also, I've never had occasion to ask this before, but was that drum in tune?
Was it in tune?
Yeah.
No, I forgot my tuner, so. I also never played with my ring, but I just
Oh, I see.
happened to.
Well,
yeah.
it did. I noticed it did have a ring to it. That,
Yeah.
all right.
Yes.
What do you folks see as the future of the Rift, in brief?
Well, we would love it for it to become more known throughout not just the United States but internationally. We already our last issue is an international issue, and we have published works from Russia to Canada to France to all different places, and we have recently acquired submissions from as far away as Indonesia. So we hope to continue to grow and also to gather more of those people who are interested in mixing of the arts.
And how is the open mic in the Galapagos coming?
That's Paul's department.
Well, we've got the marine iguanas trained, but we're still working on the large tortoises. They're
Trans-species
they're
operation,
running
right?
amok over there.
And the blue-footed boobies?
Yes, they're always a joy. Yes, the blue-footed boobies and the red-footed boobies too.
But they never stick within the time limit.
That's true. Yes, absolutely.
Ah, well, just like home. Well,
Speaking
Paul,
of time, how
yes?
much time do we have?
No, that's about it. So thank you, Paul Nash and Roy Luciana, and especially Alba Xavier, for coming on Poet to Poet and giving us a very unique cultural experience. And it's going to take a little time to recover, but we have it. And join us next week for another exciting edition. Bye-bye.